Yes, people, the transfer window is officially open. Silly season, crazy season is upon us. One of the more exciting times of the year when you find players going in and out of clubs for crazy fees. What kind of business can we expect from Manchester City this summer? I genuinely have no idea. It is way beyond me what Manchester City are expecting to do this summer. We're linked with not many players overall, and there's quite a few players linked with moves away. We're going to talk about it all. I plan on doing daily transfer videos here on this channel, so if you appreciate that and you want to stay up to date with them, subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like button on these videos so I know you're enjoying them, and let me know your thoughts down below on what you want to see from Manchester City this summer and all the players that I do speak about. I'm going to start with incomings. We're only really properly, would you even call it linked? I'm not too sure. We're linked with one player, I suppose, right now, and there's interest in another player. And the first player we're linked with, as you all know, is Bruno Guimaraes. Now, look, if you watch the streams on this channel regularly, you will know I am hell-bent on Manchester City signing Bruno Guimaraes. I think it is absolutely imperative that we get this deal done. I think he's exactly what we need. He played 50 games last season for Newcastle, missed none through injury, missed one through yellow card suspension. He's ever reliable, he's versatile, he falls under that umbrella of general midfielder that Pep Guardiola likes. Can play beside Rodri, instead of Rodri, further forward. But the key here is he can play instead of Rodri. He is a competent number 6, Premier League proven. Look, he may not be the sexy romantic signing from overseas that some of you might like, you know, a big bombazzo like a Kimmich or a Musiala or a Wirtz, but I think it's not the most exciting business, but I think it's business that we would be very glad of. We will be very glad of throughout the season, because look, we've had Rodri come out and say midway or mid towards the end of last season that he says, look, I'm tired. He's playing 60, 70 games a season if you want to include international football. That's simply not sustainable. We have the best central defensive midfielder in the world on our hands, and he's 27 years old or something like that. So theoretically, he could play at a really, really high level for the next, I don't know, 6, 7 years. At this rate, he won't. I'll tell you now, the harsh reality, people, at this rate, the amount of football he's playing, the amount of stress and stain on him every single week, pressure, he will not play at this level. He'll be simply burnt out. So look, we went for Calvin Phillips. He was meant to be Rodri's complement, help Rodri, take games off Rodri. It didn't work out. I don't think we can rely on another season of Rodri either A, getting no injuries, B, picking up no suspensions, and C, simply being able to perform week in, week out, twice, 3 times a week for 90 minutes. Because, look, if we want to win more trophies next season, keeping Rodri fit and fresh is absolutely crucial. And you may be saying to me, Hugh, yeah, Bruno sounds great. Bruno does sound great. But at 100 million, is it worth it? No. He's not a 100 million pound footballer. Neither is Declan Rice. Neither is Jack Grealish. Neither is Moises Caicedo. I don't believe any of these footballers are 100 million pound players. I think Bruno Guimaraes is, if I'm being honest, 60 to 70 million is probably a fair valuation on the footballer. But do I think 100 million for what we're actually paying for, the total package, is worth it? Yes. I do. I think 30 million, 40 million extra on top of the 60, 70, whatever I believe he's actually worth, is worth paying simply for the fact that you're protecting the welfare of Rodri. I would pay 30, 40 million to guarantee Rodri is fit, fresh when we need him, and he has sufficient backup when he's not around, or we need to rest him. And Bruno's that guy. He's the next level down from Declan Rice, as far as I'm concerned. We kind of went for Rice last summer. It didn't work out. Arsenal got him, fair enough. Bruno's the next one down for me. I think City must get Bruno. The news is that, there was rumours flying around Twitter that City were, or have triggered his £100 million release clause. They've been shut down. Look, it's a rumour mill right now. We don't know, are City going to trigger it? In true City fashion, I would imagine we will try and get a below the 100 million mark deal if we can, but will Newcastle accept that? I don't know. They have their own financial problems, so they do apparently need to sell players. But look, for me, this is one City must do, and I will be keeping on top of 110%. The next player we are supposedly interested in is Michael Olise, hot property in the Premier League right now. Michael Olise, £60 million release clause. It's quite a it's a talked about release clause, isn't it? It's talked about a lot, this release clause Michael Olise has. Some will say the 60 million is only able to be triggered by Champions League clubs. Chelsea are very interested, as far as I know. Manchester United very interested, and of course today, as of today, Bayern Munich are in talks to sign Michael Olise. Do I think this is concrete interest from Manchester City? No, I don't. As much as I like Michael Olise and I think he'd be good under Pep Guardiola, I don't think this is one City are absolutely, balls to the wall for, really want to make happen. And you can kind of interlink it with some of the news about Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva does not expect to leave Man City this summer. I mean, look, we all kind of expect Bernardo to leave every summer, don't we, in some capacity? But then you actually look at the finer details of it. Who's going to sign him? Who's going to actually sign him? He has a 50 million release clause on the table. Go and trigger it. I think any club in Europe would love to have Bernardo Silva, but for some reason nobody wants to trigger his 50 million release clause, so he kind of has to stay. I don't think he's desperate to leave though, Bernardo. I think he actually loves being at Manchester City, but look, he doesn't expect to leave. He spends a lot of time out in the right wing where Michael Olise plays. A lot of the time too. I'm sure Olise can play on either wing, but he'd be competing with Bernardo Silva for game time. I'm not sure that's something Olise wants right now, and I'm not sure it's something Manchester City need. I would much rather City put their time and energy into getting a Bruno G back up and refreshments in midfield. I think we need to support Kevin De Bruyne further. So look, there's work to be done there. I believe City have a lot of work to do this summer. Some of you may feel otherwise. Some of you may feel we're not going to do that much at all, other than try to retain your De Bruynes, your Bernardos and Edersons and so on and so forth. I think there's quite a lot of work to be done. As far as the next piece of news goes, Turkey, Galatasaray plan to sit down with Man City over Mateo Kovacic. Now look, I'm a fan of Mateo Kovacic. I like him. I think he came in and did exactly what we expected him to do, which was not to be the Gundogan replacement. He was to come in, be a steady body in midfield, and he did. He absolutely was. He was a solid player in midfield for us, and he was very good for us towards the back end of the season when we needed players to step up, and I'm very grateful for that as far as Mateo Kovacic goes. But do I think he is a great option to take us forward in the next kind of phase and building process of Manchester City? No, I don't. I think if you got we paid 25 million for him. If you got 15 off Galatasaray, I think it's decent business. And then go and spend money on a big dog midfielder. Like I said, De Bruyne needs help. You can't rely on Foden. And then, what are you? You're only really left with Bernardo. Maybe Mateus Nunes. Of course, he's linked with a move away to Saudi Arabia. Apparently, they're willing to pay the money we spent on Mateus Nunes to get him in. Will City cash in on that? I don't really know what the future of Mateus Nunes is. I don't know what his role in the squad is, but as of right now, I don't look at either Kovacic or Nunes and say, yeah, I really want you in the squad moving forward. I think we could go and upgrade on that. So, look, we'll have to keep an eye on it. This is only the first. This is the first of daily transfer videos I'm going to do for you. Whatever news is popping off, incomings, outgoings, I will bring it to you right here every single day. So please, like I say, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new and show support for the work rate. We, of course, will be doing the late night chat streams for those of you who like the streams and to interact. But for those of you who don't want to hear me waffle for an hour and a half, 8 to 10 minutes a day. That's what I'm going to give you here, people. Incomings, outgoings, let you know my thoughts and opinions. And I want you lot to let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. Me and Joe do read them all. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, for another update. In a bit.